So thanks everyone for coming to Choose Your Own Adventure, making videos in your classes. We've got a lot of information to share with you today, so we're going to get started fairly quickly. Before I go too much further, I just wanted to read our land acknowledgement. We pause to acknowledge that Cosumnes River College sits on the land of the Miwok and Nisenan people. We remember their continued connection to this region and give thanks to them. We offer our respect to their elders and to all Miwok and Nisenan people of the past and present. So my name is Amanda Paskey, and I teach anthropology, and I am also the social and behavioral sciences teaching and learning lead. And I use videos in my class to help clarify sticky points and to introduce modules. And the rest of our co-presenters are going to introduce themselves now.
Hi everyone, I'm Brandon Muranaka. I'm kind of a lot of things this year, I guess. I'm math faculty researcher, TLL for SME, kind of all those things. I use videos primarily this year for short PD things, announcements, but back when I was teaching online, I would use videos for all my video lessons with like a .cam setup and whatnot. So that's what I use videos for.
Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Lisa Marie Maveros. I teach in business and computer science. I'm also the teaching and learning lead for business and computer science and academic senate vice president. I use videos similarly like Amanda to kind of explain more in-depth topics, but I also like to use them just to do some quick welcomes, put a face with the name. That way my jokes come through a little bit more kindly. The humor, they get the humor instead of reading the humor, it can kind of go either way. So yeah, I usually like to give them a little intro, either, once a week or with the chapter, starting in the chapter, and an overview. Thank you.
Hi all, I'm Jeanette Mulhern from Early Childhood Education and Family, and I use video for welcome videos, and I also use them a lot for advocacy for a discipline, also for short introductions and public policy information, and to highlight things. And also it's kind of my creative outlet to whenever I'm kind of bored as a faculty member and there's content that I just get bored with telling students over and over. I use short videos to kind of force me to put some creative effort into it. And so it's kind of a fun piece for me. And I use it mostly to do like slideshows. And so I use it primarily so you don't always have to be on the screen all the time. So sometimes it's a mix of videos of images, sometimes it's images of myself, or sometimes it's images of free use content that I mix together with other free use images and text as well.
And I'm Julie Oliver. I'm a biology faculty member. I use videos in an asynchronous course, very short, no bells and whistles, not a lot of editing, kind of cut on the spot, casual videos for welcoming, for short content explanations, for encouragement to validate students' work. I often use videos in comments of their work. But I keep it really short. I don't do big, long things, and I don't worry about what I look like or what it looks like. I just want them to hear me and see me, and kind of a little about what Lisa Marie said about when I say something, it's a little less biting in a video than it might come across in written form. So you have 5 people here who all use videos for some similar reasons, but then some distinct reasons. And what I want to ask all of the audience now is, what do you think the benefit is for students in using videos? Or is there a benefit? What are the pros in using videos, whether they're long, short, edited, on the spot, for our students? You're welcome to throw it in the chat. You're welcome to unmute and just speak up. I'd like to hear what you guys think. Why are you interested in using videos? Or if you already use them, how are they beneficial? How do students benefit? Jason.
Yes, I mean, being in biology, anatomy, physiology, a lot of the stuff that we talk about during lecture, and I do live lectures with my online courses. So a lot of that stuff does get taken care of during those live sessions. But I have posted up, multiple shorter videos to convey different processes within physiology that students need a little more of a dynamic interaction with, because you can look through a textbook, you look on PowerPoint, things like that, and everything is just sitting there static, step 1, step 2, step 3. But when I throw out a video, I'll use a whiteboard setting or something like that, and I'm able to kind of bring it into a little bit more motion. And then at the same time, I can direct them to different animations I've found that, better convey the message as well. But it just kind of adds that element of, interaction, and it gives the students the opportunity to see, something happening as opposed to just them reading words or looking at a picture.
Perfect. So that humanizing, that interaction, that's coming up a lot in the chat also. James?
I was going to say that I think I wanted to bring up this topic. I heard a lot of you saying I use really short videos. And while I know that that's going to draw more engagement, I'm not sure what type of growth the students are going to get given the environments that they're in. And really a skill that they need to develop in this level of education is one where they're developing more resilience, more competence towards patience and deep dives into content rather than short snippets. And so I'm wondering if we're moving too quickly into the realm that they already utilize, this short video clip, this TikTok-y culture they're in, if we're not doing a disservice of losing that idea of fully enveloping oneself in something for a very long period of time and developing more patience and more capability of listening, falling in and out of attention.
Good. Somebody else in the chat put the idea of it allows students to go back and forth, to rewind, to listen again, to go back and listen to it again a few days later. So that the ability to go back. Any other unique perspectives on why videos might be important to use with students?
For lab use, of course, it's nice to demonstrate how to, riding the bike and so talking about it,
Yeah, to demonstrate some things is good. Jeanette?
Just responding to you, James, I use longer videos for some of my content as well. And one of the things that I found is helpful is, a lot of the platforms that actually have students have the ability to make comments through longer presentations where they can have little aha moments, because we're, especially in an online setting, right? You're used to students maybe stopping you in a presentation that you're giving and kind of have a reflection or a clarification or something like that. And there are a lot of platforms that allow for that kind of aha moment. And so having that asynchronously where students can actually go, oh, I love this idea, or I love this story, or I had a story like this in my own experience. And having technology kind of help you with those moments and make it a little bit more of that natural presentation style also allows for, I think, closer to what you were saying, James, as well, like a conversation in a presentation as well. So I just thought I'd add that.
Yeah. And then also coming up in the chat is the idea of multiple learning, various learning modalities, that this is more of a visual auditory learning modality versus just having students read and read. And again, that it makes us real when we're in an online format, especially in an asynchronous format. It brings a face and a voice and some animation to who the instructor is and to who other students are. If you're asking students to share their videos also, which I do in my asynchronous class, we all share short videos. Any other thoughts about videos? Anybody? There's a lot of reasons to use them, and there's also a lot of reasons why people sometimes are concerned about using them. The concerns James brought up that we're just feeding into the short snippet TikTok-y kind of nature if we're doing short snippets. The concern about using big long videos and losing students' attention spans. So where's the happy medium, or do you just use a bit of both? The concern about, I don't want to be on video. I don't like the way my voice sounds or the way I look, or I don't have the technology to make it look professional. So getting past all that can be hard. So I'm wondering if there's any other things people have about why videos might be apprehensive for instructors to use or worrisome besides what's come out. No, that's okay. I'm sharing in the chat a link to a video about using videos. It's a great 11-minute video done by an instructor, and I think he does a brilliant job of going through some of the great reasons why to use, how to use them, why we use them, how they're beneficial, and gives lots of beautiful suggestions. So I'd encourage you to save that link, and in your spare time as you're contemplating videos, watch that again. A lot of the ideas we talked about came up, but he shares even more. Lisa Marie, I see your hand up.
Yes, thanks, Julie. I wanted to kind of go back to that question that you asked of what has made us hesitant. So much of my discipline is about perfecting the presentation, right? Perfecting the pitch. And so when I had to switch to this, it was very nerve-wracking for me because I couldn't perfect the presentation and move on to the next lecture in a timely manner. So that fear of like, what do we look like? How do we sound? It kind of, in response to what James said, I found like, not that it just little snippets, but like kind of shorter videos were easier for me because editing was easier. And sometimes I can get a little monotone, right? I can get a little boring. And so doing the like, you know, maybe like 7 versus the 17-minute video, right? But still covering the content, it was a kind of a happy medium for me as the faculty member creating this video, and also for the student to say, okay, this is a good point to break, you know, digest what I just heard, or now the activity she's given me, now I'll go back to the next video. But I think that fear, and then also technology, you know, I mean, some of us are kind of semi-digital learners, and, you know, I mean, I remember being in high school and still writing papers out, right? I mean that, and then some of us are super uncomfortable with technology. And, you know, we were just thrown to the wolves that March to just say, okay, everything online. And we're like, whoa, hold on, pump the brakes. You know, so I think for me, those two things, the use of the technology and then having to just let go of the presentation and let it be what it was, right? Those are probably the biggest two struggles I had.
Thanks, Lisa Marie. I think those struggles are shared by many of us. So I think, am I throwing this back to you, Amanda? Okay, back to
Thank you. So we figured that you're interested in learning how to make videos. That's why you came to this session. And so we have 4 different platforms that we are going to be sharing with you. And we are going to be going into breakout rooms so that you can dive deeper into each of those, whichever ones you choose. We're going to have 2 breakouts, so you can choose 2 different platforms to learn about, but all of the tutorial information is on that website that I shared that link for in the chat. So the breakout rooms you should be able to see on your screen right now. There is a room for Canvas Studio. There is a room for Screencast-O-Matic. There is a room for Adobe Creative Cloud, which used to be called Adobe Spark. And there is a room for Open Broadcast Software. And the way that I've put them in order is kind of based on your comfort level with videos. If you are just starting, you should probably join Canvas Studio or Screencast-O-Matic. And if you want to level up a little bit, you probably want to join the Adobe or the Open Broadcast Software. So put yourself in a breakout room, and we'll have some time in there, and then we'll come back and switch breakout rooms. So have fun.
So is there one that you would recommend that works particularly well across different districts? Like Studio is kind of locked in within Canvas within that district, is my understanding.
So at the very end of the presentation, we're going to talk about how to upload your videos to YouTube, which would then carry over to any district. So I would say pick the one you want to go to, and we can figure out a way to get it onto a platform where it can be shared.
Okay. Gail?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw the list and I thought I picked one, but now I don't see any.
Where would you like to go, Gail?
Let me do Adobe. I've used Screencast and Canvas already, so.
Okay,
Let me
off
do
you go.
one. Thank you.
You're welcome. There you go. Does anybody need help getting into a room? Is Brandon back?
Yes.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, Brandon, you want to take over?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to talk about YouTube. Let's see. Let me grab my. Okay, so a couple things. We have access to YouTube with our Los Rios Gmail accounts. You guys know that, right? If you don't, I think it was Pat Cranley who did a video on that, or did a PD on that. And so there's a video somewhere, and maybe what I'll do is I'll look for that and throw it into the website. But I kind of want to show you a little bit about like how easy it is to just get started on YouTube. Okay, I'll grab my whole screen here. So let's do. Oh, let me move a few things around here. I got a mess here. Sorry. So YouTube is easy to access. All you actually have to do is go to Studio. Once you're logged into Google and all that stuff, it's the studio.youtube.com. Really easy to get to. And you can upload all your videos here by just going up to the corner here and hit create. My Zoom thing's in the way here. Let me move that over and upload a video. If your video's in the appropriate format, which is like MP4, select your files, throw it in. Now, it's uploading, and uploading takes forever. So you want to always consider, what I do, if I've got large files to upload, I'll start it at like 10 o'clock at night and wake up in the morning and it's like, oh, there it is. So that's something to keep in mind. There are other tricks to kind of lower file size and all sorts of stuff. But as you upload a file, you get all these kind of questions about how you want to, what do you want to do? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Let me just, I'm going to go ahead and click through here. Let me grab a video file somewhere. Oh, here, I'll just grab this guy. Yeah, I'll do this one. So hopefully my internet connection holds up and at least shows us. So, you go through, you got to do your title, you can do your thumbnail. And by the way, for thumbnails, Canva, Canva, that thing that we use, that a lot of folks use for making like flyers and whatnot. Canva has templates. Get this, it has templates for YouTube thumbnails. And you may think, what does that matter? But I actually read a book on YouTubing this summer, or this last semester. Anyways, the thumbnail is super important. It's what grabs people's attention. So anyways, thumbnails are important, but you can add thumbnails. You can have different settings for and whatnot, but then I usually don't do much here. The thing that I wanted to point out is, depending on your comfort level, manage how public your video is, right? So you can get to things like unlisted, where only people with the link can view. You can go full public, or you can go private, which means people have to be added, just like we had to be added to the website and all that stuff to view it. So I tend to go with unlisted, at least for now, and then just kind of mass share my links with folks. But I'm very tempted to switch a bunch of stuff to public now that I'm a little more comfortable in my own, whatever you call it, my own skin or whatever. Okay, so let me looks like there's chat. So let me make sure, are there questions or things that I'm missing? I apologize. Did I miss anything? Oh, Jenna put the video from Pat's thing. Yes, Canva, not to be confused with Canvas. Yeah. Let me stop this. Oh, shoot. What do I got going on here? Okay. Got all kinds of things clicking around here. Okay. But yeah, like I actually posted videos on uploading and using YouTube into the web page that we've shared out. Those videos are all from another YouTubing group called Think Media. They do a really great job of like just highlighting the things you can do with YouTube videos. Things like if you have those long form videos, right? Say you have a lecture that you've recorded and you know you've got different topics or things you've done in the lecture. It's really easy in YouTube to put the timestamps in the video so that as on the bottom of the bar, there'll be the little time, they're called chapters in YouTube. Those are really easy to put in. So YouTube provides you with all these really easy things for, just getting going and getting started. Let's see, any questions, anything else I should be talking about? I can't remember if I missed anything, so. No, quiet, all good, good.
Does anybody have any questions?
When will my longer training be? My longer training is called YouTube. I'll forward everyone the links. No, I could probably do another more in-depth thing with what I do. Yeah. Should I assign reading? I should assign reading for people. I should make people read something. Hold on. This is a really cool book to read. It's all about like YouTubing and stuff. It's probably more for business and like social media influencers and that kind of stuff. But there's some really interesting stuff in here about like the one thing that I really liked was the scripting section where they talk about how you write the script for your videos. It's really kind of an interesting analogy to teaching and storytelling. So yeah. Oh, Anne has a question. Yeah.
Yeah, hi, thank you. So my question is, it's something that I wished that I could do when I was making videos with Studio. And that was when I would go back and view a video and edit it and edit out the ums and things like that, just like you were saying. Occasionally, I would notice that I had misspoken and said one word instead of a different word or something like that. It's a variation on a theme, right? And I wanted to be able to put a little text box on the video in that spot and be like, she meant page 435, not page 235 or whatever it was, right? And I was just wondering if that is something that is easier to do in this software compared to in Studio.
So I do that. I've done that many times, and I use, so for my editing, I use the Adobe Premiere Rush. And in that, I can throw up those pop-ups of like, the little asterisk where I said something incorrect or misspoke. Yeah, that's how I throw those in.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's more on the editing side than on the recording side. Yeah.
And so can you use Adobe Rush with any video? It doesn't have to come from OBS. Like, could you take your Studio videos over there and use it there?
So it's a file format thing. So what happens is I think as long I know for sure MP4s work. So I think
Okay.
if Studio produces
That's good enough.
MP4s, you're fine.
Yeah.
It actually, kind of a nuance with OBS for whatever reason, and it's probably my own fault for not messing with the settings, but my OBS settings make MKV files, which actually don't feed into Adobe Premiere Rush, but OBS does have a file conversion feature, which allows me to convert my files to MP4. So that's what I end up doing with that. I think it's something I set up incorrectly like a year and a half ago that I just never went back and fixed.
Thank you. That helps.
That brings up a really good point, Brandon, which is that even though you might not have the perfect optimization, what you've done is you've created a workflow that works for you so that you're not reluctant to do it. That you're actually going to go and, maybe you could spend 20 hours figuring out how to initially make that an MP4 for you from the OBS, but instead you're just, hey, I know how to do this. I'll do a conversion. And then it keeps you in your workflow, moving forward with your content.
Yeah, and that's actually a really important point here. Like, my workflow is my crazy workflow that I've developed for myself. Everybody else is going to have their own workflow that works for them. And I can provide different tips and things that I've done that have helped me get to my workflow the way it is. But it's sort of, it's just a style thing, right? Everybody has their own way of kind of working and stuff. So, so yeah, like, I found what works for me, and this is kind of how I do me, right?
Are there any other questions? Well, everything we have shared is up on that, that Google site. So check it out. There's tutorials. Our email addresses are up there. So reach out to us if you have any questions, and we'll probably send you another YouTube link of something else. But we hope that this has inspired you to try some new software, some new programs, and to just continue making videos for your classes. So have a great rest of your day, and thank you for joining us.